All right, number 3, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, as the foremost Twilight Princess professional, the best Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess player in this planet today, I will tell you that I think it's ranked a little bit high. I'm just saying. I ranked it, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's 22 minus 5? Whatever that number is, 17? It's not good. It's not good. That's what I ranked it as, and I am a Twilight Princess professional, so you know that is probably where it should have actually been. Talked about Twilight Princess a lot here on this show. Moments of greatness, lots of moments of just, they make me shake my head, and the game, well, I was thinking of a better way to say it, but you just can't escape it. This game is just god awful ugly. It really is. It truly is just...
Oh my gosh.
just ugly. Ugly. And I'm sorry, man. And the opening is miserable. And,
maybe this could also be something like what we were talking about with Age of Calamity. Your negatives just outweigh the rest of the game. Because I don't enjoy playing this game very much, but I like it for what it is. As far as like, I think I just don't like it because the dungeons and like the length feel like a chore to me. And I'm sure you guys have all heard me talk about that before. But like it's actually a pretty epic tale. Like I think that's what people really like about it. It's fantasy at heart. It's got the Zelda formula we all love. I think it has some really like powerful moments for the series. I think it's a little high too, but I totally 100% understand why it's a top 3 game for a lot of people.
Oh, I have to read you. So Cora Burton is one of our writers, and she's awesome. I love Cora. She's a fantastic writer. I was kind of laughing. I messaged her and I was like, "Oh my god, I almost crapped my pants reading what she wrote about Twilight Princess." So I'm gonna read you some of what she said. Well, Twilight Princess's aesthetic has set much of the nostalgia tone that I have for Zelda as a whole. It's a very pretty game. All right. Where's the other part that I almost spontaneously combusted when I read? I can't find it, but essentially she also says it's like Twilight Princess has like a great opening segment to it.
No.
And I was like, are we
Does
playing
she mean
the same
like maybe
Twilight
the opening
Princess?
story element? I don't think she means like the first portion of the game.
I don't know. It's stall for me while I find the exact quote.
I mean, I can understand, the opening of like the story and you find little humble farm boy Link, and they're talking about going to the castle and like the sadness of Twilight. I think that's kind of cool, but definitely not like the first portion of the game, the intro of the game that you're playing for way too long. It's a bit rough.
Oh, here we go. So, Twilight Princess may contain my favorite Zelda intro of all. So that's all she said, but that was enough. I started having like little allergic reactions when I was reading that.
Oh my god.
And I was like, well, Cora, I love that you love this game, and that's great. And, different strokes for different folks, as my father might say. But
oh my god.
I will tell you one thing for sure. You can be rest assured that I will be throwing it down with Twilight Princess again this July. Because when you need a player to play this game and play it properly, the way it's meant to be played, there's only one professional you call. That's Andy Spiteri, the greatest Twilight Princess player in this world. So,
you know what, Andy? We appreciate you for your 14 hours of service every year.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to feel wanted. Let's move on to number 2, which stays at number 2. Twilight Princess stayed at number 3 last year, too, by the way. 5 first-place finishes for number 2, Breath of the Wild.
I get it.
What can you say?
It's number 2 on my list. I mean, it has so much replayability. You could go back and replay this game and love it every single time. It's just so fantastic, and it's changed the Zelda series as we know it. Unfortunately, it's been 6 years since it's come out, so yeah. I can feel the people getting a little exhausted.
Here's something for you. By the time that Tears of the Kingdom comes out, we will be closer to the 10-year anniversary for Breath of the Wild HD You know, like we're gonna be like 3.5 years away from that by that point. So
It's gonna be 4K Ultra HD,
yeah, I don't know what they're
and Tears of the Kingdom just comes out.
Breath of the Wild I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I put it at number 4 on my list.
Hmm.
But realistically, it could be number 2, it could be number 3. It was just my mood on that day, and I will admit to maybe a little bit of bias, being like everyone's gonna rank Breath of the Wild so high. I want to get a Minish Cap in at number 3, just because those games are at about the same level for me, for very different reasons, of course, right? But
Hmm.
like they're about the same level, so I was like, I'm just gonna put the one that I think needs a little boost above Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Um, what can you say? It's Breath of the Wild. It's one of the greatest games of all
Yeah.
time. It's won every single award. The only thing Breath of the Wild has never done, the only like thing that it needs to win is to be number 1 on our list. And I think
Yeah.
that'll happen. I do. I think it'll happen.
Do you? Because I'm just curious if Tears of the Kingdom comes out and it's a knockout and we all love it, I almost think Breath of the Wild might go down. To be honest.
I don't think so. I think that it might take some time, but I think that like even if you just look at it statistically, this game outsold the previously best-selling Zelda game by like a multiple of 4. It's pretty close to outselling it by a multiple of 4.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that is a lot of new Zelda fans, which you can infer, like you can infer from that number that like a lot of those are playing Zelda for the first time, and maybe they got really into Zelda. Even our pal Zeldom that we talked to a couple weeks ago on the Triforce Trend show, like he got into it playing Breath of the Wild. So like you can kind of infer that that's going to be a lot of people's first Zelda. They're going to feel that way about the game that some people do about A Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time or whatever, Twilight Princess. And I think that over time you're going to see those people like join our ranks and be like, yeah, Breath of the Wild is my first Zelda and it's the best game ever. And that in that way, I think you're going to finally see it be number 1. So I think
Gotcha.
that'll happen.
Okay. All right.
There's only one left. There's only
Only
one
one
left.
left.
Well, for the 5th, the record-shattering 5th year in a row, it's The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. What else can you say? What other game could it be? What other
Breath of the Wild.
but no. You know what? Ocarina of Time dominated. It dominated this year. And it dominated last year, but it dominated even more this year. Like
Wow.
out
Okay.
of 20 lists, it finished in number 1 on 9 of them. So like almost
Almost
half the
half.
lists, it
Yeah.
was number 1. You had it on
Nice.
number 1 on your list.
I
So,
did. It finally cracked. It's always been on number 2, but it
Yeah.
finally cracked. I think it's just because I got back into it this year and I was like, God, this is such a good game. It's so good. And it's like, there's hard to find anything wrong with it.
So number 1 on 9 lists, and every editor had played it. So let's go 22 times number 9. So that's 200 points right there. So even if you didn't count this game on any other list, it still would be in the top 5.
Yeah.
And it finished in the top 5 on I think like 15 out of 20 lists. So like
Hmm.
it was first by like a considerable amount. Like the gap between Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild was huge. Which is
Yeah.
mind-blowing to me. Like mind-blowing. But like this game is just it's so timeless, it's so good. It's just like a really great it's a great video game. I want to read a quote that Mike said actually. He said, "Sometimes everyone is just right." And Ocarina of Time doesn't have Majora's Mask's atmosphere. It doesn't have the Wind Waker's beauty. It doesn't have Breath of the Wild's scope. But Ocarina of Time claims a spot every year because it is the best video game in the series. Dungeon design is almost unmatched. The iteration of Hyrule, it's perfect. It's a perfect balance of open world exploration and directed momentum. It's just people get it right. I think this is the best video game like ever made, ever, like just in general.
I
So,
don't know
no
if I would
surprise
go
for
that
me.
far, but like I definitely think it's one of the best Zelda games ever made. I think I'll love this game till the day I die. I have so much nostalgia for it. I remember watching somebody, I don't know who, somebody in my family, I was like 2 or 3 playing this game. So it's like I wasn't 2 or 3, I was like 5, but I was trying not to age
Oh,
myself too much there. Um, but I remember watching them like ride around on Epona, and that will stay with me for the rest of my life.
yeah.
And just every feeling that I've ever felt playing this game will stay with me for the rest of my life. And I feel like a lot of Zelda fans feel that way about this game. So
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I think eventually one day Breath of the Wild will top it, but it's hard to see. It's hard to see that now because like Ocarina of Time was just like I said, dominant. So I threw out a few words, a few little word association. I called it towering, trailblazing, brave, irreplaceable, enduring, but maybe the biggest word, eternal. This game is eternal.
Yep.
So yeah, there it is. It's number 1 on our list, 5th year in a row. No surprise there. I thought this list turned out really great.
I did too. There's some things that I feel maybe don't fit their places, but that's just
Twilight Princess.
me. That's just me personally and how I feel about the Zelda series in my list. I think a lot of it makes sense to truly represent the community as a whole, though.
I will tell you this. I have a fun statoid for you.
Okay.
If, by some wretched miracle, if if Triforce Heroes had finished in 21st place instead of 22nd, so second to last instead of dead last, that would have been the single biggest injustice on this entire list. Worse than Twilight Princess at number 3, worse than Skyward Sword at number 7. That would have been the biggest injustice on this entire list if Triforce Heroes would have even finished one spot higher. But luckily
I don't agree with that. But okay.
All right, well, there it is. That's our best Zelda Ever list. Go and check out the article, read the article. There's lots of good anecdotes and other stuff that you can take away from that. Check it out. It's our biggest article that we do every year, so a lot of love went into it. I put oh my God, I was working on this bad boy for hours and hours and hours last week. So check it out, please. Please check it out. All right. Well, we are going to get out of here. Of course, we want to thank everybody for watching us over on Twitch, which you can do, by the way, every week. And by the way, we're having a little inner Zelda Dungeon debate here about whether we should be uploading clips on YouTube or whether we should just upload the whole show. So weigh in. Let me know what you like better. And you can do that over on Twitter at Spiteri316, at Ellison Aletha, and at the Zelda Cast. Or you can just join Discord and you can chit-chat with us all you like over there. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. Like, subscribe, recommend, 5-star review, all that good stuff. You know the drill. I think that's it. I think that's all the plugging that we got to do.
There you go.
All right,
You're
cool.
pro, man.
Yeah, let's get out of here, Al. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.